Hi guys, welcome to Learn Tech from Zero. Today we will be covering further CompTIA Security Plus topic. If you're new to this channel, we offer free education and help to people who are interested in IT. So if you don't understand anything or if you need any help, you can just simply leave a comment and we will try our best to help you out. So let's start with today's topic, which is control types. So in professional IT environment, uh, there are four categories, security categories. So IT security categories, we have already covered that, and today we will be covering the IT control types. So these are the control types that are being used in a professional IT environment. So let's just get into the details. So there are six control types, and it makes it very easy if you understand the meaning of those types. So if we just talk about just basic English, so we have preventive, deterrent, detective, corrective, compensating, directive. So these are the six control types in an IT environment. So these are the types that we normally follow to secure the systems and the devices and everything related to IT. So preventive means something that you prevent before, so stop incidents before they happen. So you just need to know the basic meaning of it, and then it represents the actual IT information. So let's just so preventive means stop incidents before they happen. So you are preventing it. Deterrent. So if the actual meaning of this word is discouraging from something before happening. Detective is something that you just being detective, like you just being nosy, looking around, and then letting the authority or people know. So it's just a way of dealing with it. We'll explain it to you. Corrective means something that happened and then you are fixing it. And then compensating is, let's say you have a primary system and which is down, so you are using a secondary system for the time being until the primary system is back. So it's called compensating. And then directive is guide user behavior, like how so basically how the it's basically the instructions or the guides to people on how they should act. This is something the management does, the IT management. So we'll just go through the details very quickly. So preventive controls stop security incidents before they happen. So for example, a type of preventive control type is firewall, access control, strong password policies, antivirus. So firewall, access control is what they will do is they will try to prevent something from happening. Firewall will prevent attackers trying to attack your system before attacking. So it's trying to prevent. And then strong passwords will prevent access to the system. So this is, so when in the exam, if it comes firewall, access control list, strong password, what kind of control type is that? You say preventive. I don't want to go too much in detail, so you can simply go on the website and learn about them in details and practice yourself. I will just try to explain in a very quick way. All right, the next one is deterrent control. So discouraging attackers from trying to breach security. So you are discouraging them before they attack. So for example, security warning. So if you have signs saying that unauthorized access will be logged and prosecuted, and then policies saying that lock accounts. Like for example, if you try to continuously put incorrect password, and then basically the attackers will know that the system will get locked if they try to continuously put incorrect password to find the right password to access. So it's this is a deterrent, like it shows that if you keep trying those incorrect password, then the account will get locked. And then obviously we have let's just not go into too much detail. So that's one. So deterrent. Let's then the next one we have is detective controls. So identify and alert about security incidents after they happen occur. So detective is so for example, what happens is detective is like basically something happened and it will get notified to the authority or the systems or whatever. Like for example, an example of detective control is intrusion detection system, log monitoring, SEIM system. This is something that we used in cybersecurity environment where you have one centralized place and you get all the reports in one place. So this is the type of control. So detective. These are the example of detective controls. All right. Let's. The next one is corrective controls. So fix or recover after security incident. So so after an incident, like after a problem, you are correcting things. So this is called corrective controls. For the example of corrective control is backup. So when you lost everything, you are just restoring everything from backup. Patch management, apply patches to fix vulnerabilities after they discovered. So when you find a problem and if you see that there are updates available, you update those systems. Incident response playbooks, this is something that you have within a professional IT environment. So what happens is you can find step-by-step guides to recover systems. So this is corrective controls. The next one is compensating controls, serve as alternative controls when the primary control cannot be used. So it's this is like the secondary help when the primary system is not there, like for example using MFA instead of strong password only. So what happens is for example, if you have weak password, if users are not following the proper password policies, they're not creating passwords or they're just being not careful with their passwords, you can enforce MFA. So for example, if the primary is not that strong enough, the second one will take over. And then also another example is network segmentation instead of firewall upgrades. If firewall resources are limited, segmentation can reduce risk. I think this is something that I don't want to go too much in details at this time. We will cover that in the later videos, but there are other examples that you can try at the bottom to practice your knowledge about compensating controls. And then we have directive controls. So ensure users follow organizational policies and procedures. So security policies, training programs, and operating procedures, etc. So this is something comes from the management. They set up the policies and the people and the system should follow those policies. So quick summary, preventive. So you have all of this. Let's just try those quiz so it so everything makes sense to you. So which type of control is primarily designed to stop a security incident before it occurs? So we are trying to stop something before it happens. So we are trying to prevent it. So it's not detective because we are trying to prevent something from happening. So it's gonna the control type will be preventive. All right, it's correct. All right, the next one is a company installs a security camera and places a warning sign stating premises under CCTV surveillance. Which control type best describes this feature? So there is a sign and it's trying to scare people away, and so it's not going to be compensating, it's not corrective, and it's not detective. So detective is something that happens and then it notifies, and this is deterrent is something that discourages people from attacking. So there is a sign and it says it's under CCTV recording, so it's trying to prevent people from committing anything, it's trying to scare away, it's trying to discourage people, it's going to be deterrent. All right, it's correct. An intrusion detection system, IDS, alerts the administrator after a network breach. What type of control is that? It is after a network breach, so it's not going to be preventive. Preventive means you do it before. Detective means it happened and then it lets you know. Directive is from the management. Compensating is the primary system failure using the second. So it's going to be detective because it's letting. The IDS alerts, so it let the administrator know there is a network breach. So it's going to be detective. All right, the next one is after a ransomware attack, the IT team restored systems from the backup. Which control type does this represent? So it is restoring systems from backup. So there was an attack already, ransomware attack where they blocked it and they're asking for money. and then the IT team is restores the system from backup. So what does it mean is, um, it's not preventive because it's already happened. You're not trying to prevent it. Deterrent is, you're not trying to scare it away. Directive is nothing to do with the management policies. So we are trying to correct the system. So it's going to be corrective. All right. A company uses a firewall rule to temporarily block a vulnerable service until a patch is available. Which control type is this? So it says that firewall rule is so there is a service which is weak, and the firewall has blocked it until there is a software update is available. Which control type is this? It will be, because it will not be compensating, because it did not give you a second option. It will be preventive. A company uses a firewall rule to temporarily block a vulnerable service until a patch is available. Detective, no, it happens after. Directive, so it's going to be preventive. Oh no, it's compensating. All right, let's start with the fifth question. So a company uses a firewall rule to temporarily block a vulnerable service until a patch is available. Which control type is this? So it has blocked a service until the patch is available. So the main service is temporarily unavailable, but it will come back later on. So it will be compensating, because it's not preventing, it's not trying to prevent it's already preventing, but preventing is something that you were trying to prevent before it happens. But here they found the problem after. So the firewall has blocked the rule, and then you are waiting until the software update is done. So it's compensating. So compensating means when the first option is not available and you are just waiting, and you are using a secondary system or the secondary policies or whatever, so you're waiting for it. So it's going to be compensating. Detective is, let's not get into too much details because they will keep on coming back, so let's just go with the next one. Compensating is correct. All right, the next one is security awareness training that instructs employees not to share passwords is an example of which control type. So there is a training. It's telling people not to share passwords. Okay, so it's not corrective. It's not deterrent. It's not technical, because it's a training instruction. So most probably like some sort of guidance. It's going to be directive from the management. All right. A motion sensor detects movement after hours and triggers an alarm. What type of control does this describe? A motion detector detects, all right, movement after hours, so after working hours, normal hours, and triggers an alarm. So what happens is it detects after, and then it lets alarm and triggers an alarm, so it lets the authority know. Basically, it informs the authority or the system. So it's a detective. So it was detecting, and when it found out, it basically informed, it alerted the system or the member. So it's going to be detective. Correct. All right. So the next one is account lockout after multiple failed login attempts. Best represent which control type? So it's going to be not preventive, because prevent is something you do before happening. Deterrent is there is no sign. Um, Corrective, account lockout after multiple failed login attempts. Best represents which control type? I think based on that, it's going to be preventive, because it's trying to prevent accessing to the system. And deterrent, there is no sign. Corrective is means it's not correcting after the problem. Directive is nothing to do with the policy. It's going to be preventive. Correct. All right. So 9, a visible security guard at the building entrance discourages unauthorized access attempts. What type of control is this? It's not going to be detective, because it's not like it happened first and then it's alerting, or it's not. It's the same. Corrective is as well. It's like something happened and then you correct later. Directive is something to do with the policy and training, so it's going to be deterrent. Okay, and then the last one is a company issues a written policy requiring all mobile devices to use full disk encryption. Which control type is this? This is going to be because there is a policy and then there is an instruction from the management, people need to follow that. It's going to be directive. So that's it. So we have answered 10 out of 10. So yes, what you can do is you go through it and just practice the questions, and if you can answer them, then you know that you have understood the topic. If you have any questions, just leave a comment, and I will see you soon with the next video.